Okay, I just want to make a quick stop here, point out this huge old growth stump that's been broken into pieces and has washed down the road, now creek here. We've got a nice old snag up there that's fallen. There's a small boulder up there about the size, oh, I don't know, about 4 foot by 4 foot or so. Big rock. This is a 2 foot by 3 foot here rock. Again, just imagining the energy and the force behind this, you know, scouring and leaving this material, all this glacial outwash material, which some of it, you know, was already here, of course. You know, we've some of it in some places has covered the road, but in a lot of places too, I believe it's washed the road out. And then you can see along basically what would be the cut bank of the road. You can see where, you know, the height basically of where the water from the slide and all the debris from the slide came to, and what it's done, you know, to, you know, some of these old, you can see some old trees laying out down there. Those could also be ones that ended up down at the base of the slide here. You see younger trees. We're in an old stand here on the sides, an old stand of reprod that's probably 30 years old or so. 30, yeah, and those trees that were along here have been uprooted and moved down, and even some of the old leaf trees that we left when we harvested this, you know, that one has scars up, you know, nearly 15 feet or so of debris that was coming down that hit that tree and took off its bark. And there's an old snag that was ripped up and pushed down that way. And just some huge rocks in here that, you know, like I said, some of them washed down from above. Some of them were already in the road bed. Obviously, this one here was in the road bed, and basically all the surfacing and even that larger rock that they were using below the surfacing has been just washed down basically into the road below there, which helped to stop the slide to a certain degree. And then here we've got our friend compacted glacial till right here. It's always here. If you can imagine, there's kind of the road cut there where you've got your O horizon, which is mostly gone, but then where the roots are sticking out there, you've got an A horizon. And then you get over here, then into your B1, B2, you can see some reddish, you know, redox reactions going on. And here you can also see this is a very wet area even, in fact. So there's a seep up here, it looks like, that's contributing water into this road or stream. And I bet you this seep, you know, is connected to, partly connected to this compacted glacial till that we're running into at a lower depth. But, you know, we're still looking at that basically like, you know, if we were to dig straight down, we would hit it about here. And so we're looking at, you know, 1-2 meters deep of sandy, gravelly type soil before you hit the compacted till. Here, it's been exposed, and so it's starting to kind of come apart a little bit. But if it were covered like this stuff back here, it's practically impenetrable by water, and you know, going to also kind of exacerbate any of these types of landslides. You know, things are just gonna slide right off of that stuff, basically. So let's keep on going. Okay, so here's a really great example of some of that exposed compacted glacial till material that the water is, you know, now starting to cut through. Right here we have a number of different size of cobbles and stones, and you know, again on the edge, because of the water activity, which is you know, physically weathering it, and also through hydrolysis, which is chemically weathering it, we're getting the rock is becoming high, you know, more highly weathered as it's exposed here. You can see as I chip away at it, though, I can get in there a little bit, but you know, it's pretty well compacted, pretty well cemented. And you know, if you can imagine too, it's going to be, you know, fairly consolidated and consistent material to a certain degree, but you've got these larger rocks, and so you're going to have areas too that are more highly compacted than others, and you know, areas where it may be less consolidated and water might be able to get through in some spaces. You know, again, it's not this perfectly flat plane of impervious surface. You know, there's going to be some cracks and stuff in it, just like this rock here, which is not compacted glacial till. This is more of a sandstone, and it's sandstone. You can tell the way it is kind of weathering here, and it's very gritty too on my shovel, but also just how easily it's breaking apart here. It's got some manganese in it with that dark color, and now you've got water running down through it, further weathering it. So now I can even just break it apart with my shovel pretty easily, like that. And then imagine when this freezes in the winter, then it's going to have a lot of freeze and thaw weathering on this rock too. You can see this type of rock here is kind of flaking off in a platey kind of way. Again, you know, these landslide areas are a great place for people to come and find really cool rocks. You know, these rocks have been buried for thousands of years up here, and now they're finally exposed, and it's a good opportunity to find some really interesting stuff that you don't usually find closer to the surface. You get into some of these sedimentary limes or sandstone type rocks, which are beautiful. There's some nice chunks of granite in here, and you know, just tons of beautiful rocks. So you know, you can find, like, look at this huge piece of quartz. There's a huge piece of quartz there, but you know, I don't know that I've seen a piece of quartz that large in a long time. So great spot if you're a rock hound. Check out some recent slides. Let's carry on up the old road slash stream here and see if we can get to the top of this thing.